King of Love, we moving on up. I have a message from the King of Love, lessons, degrees, melodies sent from above. The King of Love is sent to teach. Words of wisdom are within your reach. Knowledge is a deep understanding of the wisdom of self without being demanding. The words he speaks, the melody he sings, let you know in the door he is truly a king. Disregard the appearance, seek to reach within, and embrace the King of Love without fear of sin. His life is dramatic, his path full of gold. The King of Love will never grow old. The words make you smile, the touch makes you blush. The seriousness of it all sends your mind in a rush. Sisters, brothers, all families, you don't hear him calling? You must be deaf because we seem to be falling from the highest heights where we were meant to be. His music soothes and his words relieves. Listen close, pay attention. Let him take you to another dimension. When you feel the touch, please don't rush. Relax, open your mind and learn to trust. Look within to see who you truly are. And let the King of Love be your guiding star. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of From the Projects to the Penthouse. I'm excited today. I got my girl on here with me, y'all. I want to introduce you to Dr. Wendy Cunningham Barnes. She is a successful serial entrepreneur, best-selling author, host of the Wendy Life Show, a radio talk show co-host, co-founder of the You Belong Foundation. Thank you so much for that. She's a special needs advocate, caregiver. She's a wife, a beautiful wife, mother, and as a result of being an advocate for the special needs community, she co-founded the You Belong Foundation in 2022. So I want to take this opportunity first to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today, to be able to share your truths to all that will listen. And we pray that the words that come forth from us will edify, encourage, empower, and uplift someone else. So the purpose of From the Projects to the Penthouse is a forum so that we can share our truths. And hopefully, like we had discussed before we got on, somebody will be able to benefit from our pain or benefit from our purpose that we have in this world. So, Wendy, thank you so much, sis. You're such a beautiful spirit, just like your Dr. Barnes.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You are the ultimate power couple to me.
Oh, thank you.
All the components of it. So I want to toot my horn for you.
Thank
today.
you.
I'm so thankful that you decided to, come on and speak with me.
Thank you for having me. I'm loving the title.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That title?
From the Projects to the Penthouse. That's huge.
Yes.
I hope people understand what that means.
Do you think they do?
I hope, sadly, I don't.
Okay.
But if they listen to those words, people who have a background in the projects don't see that vision of a penthouse, anything except on the TV or, whatever they watch externally. They don't see it for themselves. But I'm hoping that with your show, they can see it because it's possible.
Yes, it is possible. I'm a witness. That's how I got started. That's how Father led me to even starting the podcast. And thankfully to your husband, once again, I had to toot his horn when God called me to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue about doing any of this. And through his grace and God's mercy over my life and my favor that I have with Dr. Barnes, you know what I'm saying?
I feel the same way about Dr. Barnes, that favor.
That favor, favor pay your bills,
The favor find you that good husband.
Yes, it found me, man.
Yeah, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for favor.
Yes, favor. Who was that? Kim Stratton. She got a song called "Favor Ain't Fair, but the Show Feel Fabulous."
Yes.
So thankful to Dr. Barnes and from the projects. Before we get started, I'll just give a brief overview of why From the Projects to the Penthouse is it's based on actually my life and what God had did for me. Because growing up in most people of our culture grow up in small beginnings.
Right.
When God does elevate us and take us to new heights, we have to be mindful of and careful with what He blesses us with.
Mm.
And so, and the thing is, when He does bless you with something, you have to reseed that, and
Yeah.
sow that back into somebody else that don't know. So I'm
Yeah.
fortunate enough to be raised in a housing complex, and not one had a whole lot of education or whatever, but through it, myself, just like you, we're serial entrepreneurs. We do a whole lot of things. We help a whole lot of people. Our
Yeah.
hearts are for the people, and we're servants of the Most High. We're sisters
Yeah.
and brothers in
Yeah.
Christ. And so that's how that got started. But back to you, sis. You are impeccable.
Oh,
I
thank
just
you.
wanted to share briefly with the people the event for the You Belong Foundation
Mhm.
that you have been doing. For how many years have you been?
It's not even a year yet.
No, I'm saying
Oh, the Page Awards. The
the
Page
Page
Awards,
Awards.
that November was our fifth
Okay.
annual, but our first since COVID. So we were finally back together to love on each other, hug each other, and see each other face to face. So I was very excited and grateful to God for that.
And it was so eloquent,
Yeah. Thank you.
elegant. That's the word. When I talk to boss people, I got to get my vocabulary up.
You
You know
just got to
what
be
I'm saying?
you. It's got to be you.
Yes, yes, yes. But it was so elegant. The violinist, the food was good. Thank
Thank
you so much for having me there. I was so blessed to be a
um,
part of that, and I don't want to miss any more.
oh, good. I like that.
Okay,
Tell your friends that.
right. So I'm gonna give you a moment because I'm gonna love on you. I'm
Oh,
gonna
thank
give you a
you.
moment to tell the people a little bit about yourself and what you want them to know.
Well, you said the basics, right? But I didn't grow up in the projects, but I grew up in the inner city. And a lot of times growing up in the inner city, you don't see that vision either. You see kind of what you see in the projects. And I didn't see anything great for myself. But what's funny is my mom would always try, and my mom is watching, so she can co-sign. Um,
Uh-oh.
she would try and get me in the kitchen to learn how to cook. Mom, you learn how to cook from your mother. I told my mother I didn't even learn how to cook because I was gonna have a cook.
Come on.
That's my first memory. Like we in a one bedroom. My sister and I jokingly say that we thought that everybody slept in the dining room. We had bunk beds in the dining room.
Okay.
So I guess I did see that vision subconsciously, but consciously I didn't. But as God took me through things and I started, He's putting me around people. So for me, I want people to always watch the people around them, the
Yes.
people who you feel are successful, the people who you feel are doing something. Pay attention. And that's what I'm growing up as a very, very, very shy girl in the inner city. I was, I told you my
You
mama,
were
I've told you my mama is watching. Yeah. I go out,
okay.
be like, Wendy, it's nice outside. And I'm like, okay. She's like, you don't want to go out and play? Like, I'm good. I got my books, I got my little dolls. Leave me alone. So yeah, I was very shy and I just didn't see anything for myself other than, I didn't want to be seen.
Mm.
I tried to stay hidden. You didn't know I was in the room because I wasn't talking. I just stayed in the corner. My mother would leave, like we'd be able to get together, and she'd leave, thinking that if she was gone long enough, I would
Right.
finally get up and play with the kids. I'm right here. I got your seat. Here you go. So that
Right.
was me growing up, and I didn't necessarily see this Wendy, but I'm thankful for this Wendy. But it took a lot of honing. It took a lot of pain. It took a lot of growth. It took a lot of prayer to get to this point to be confident in who I am today. Still
Wow.
needing a lot to grow, but the You Belong Foundation was created with a focus on the special needs community, yes. But I want people to hear that name, You Belong, because oftentimes, depending on our situation, depending on how we look, if we're not tall enough, if we're not short enough, if we're not thin enough, it's always something that we feel like we're not enough. You belong. I don't want you to have a disability or care for someone with a disability and say, well, oh, my loved one doesn't have this, so maybe that's not for me. Yes, it is. We want to find something to help you. And I've always been that person. I've always wanted to help that person who didn't seem like they could make it. Like I'm that person. Yes, you can. Like I'm that person. Like yes, you can. Yes, you can. Well, I'm too. That's okay because there are examples of what you are out there in the world that's making it.
That's right.
And I want people to always feel like they belong. I don't discriminate people based on anything because I know how I felt growing up. And
Mhm.
I don't want anyone else in my space to feel that way. So I've honed my God-given gift of making people feel comfortable around me.
Mm.
No matter what background they've come from, no matter what they believe in, I want people to always feel comfortable with me because I am just a child of God, just like I see you.
That's right.
And for the you belong, you belong.
We
Don't say Wendy, but you belong.
I
And we're
belong.
gonna find a way for it to fit and for it to work.
I belong.
You do. Yes. Yes. And
Yes.
people need to understand that you're created for a reason.
Yes.
And if you have that belief in God, if you have that belief in that God has made everything beautiful, so how has you left out?
That's
How
right.
is it that he just made that one mistake with you?
That's right.
He hasn't. And I felt that way before in the past. And it's my hope. I jokingly, but not jokingly, tell James, like, I want to save the world by Friday.
Yeah, right. Yes, we all do.
You just want to save the world. But if you could just touch that one person
That's it.
by telling your story,
Yes.
it not only helps that person, but it frees you.
Yes.
It makes you feel okay.
Don't
Okay.
worry. You can
Yeah.
do
Yeah. We don't give ourselves enough credit for where we are today. If
it.
you're here today watching this, you've made it through a whole pandemic
Yes.
where so many people haven't made it.
That's right.
So if for any other reason, smile about that.
That's right.
You
That's right.
woke up today for a reason. It's up to you to figure out what that reason is.
Wow.
Yeah. But life is exciting. God is good.
Yes, he's great.
And he put us together like the way you and I met.
That's it.
What? You know what I mean? So I embrace all opportunities that I feel are from God.
That's right.
And
And
I
you'll know it. You'll know it when it
You'll
comes
know
to
it.
you.
Yeah. You don't have to second guess it because this is God. You know when it's not God. And the more you practice that,
Mhm.
the easier it becomes. You know that's God, like, check, that's not God. Put that over there.
That's right.
But
That's
then why did God put that in your space? That's
Mhm.
not of God, but what's the reason for that?
That's right.
So yeah, we can talk all day about that.
Yes, we
Okay.
can. But when you were talking, I thought about a conversation that I had today with a gentleman from the UK.
Mm,
And we were talking about soul issues and self esteem, confidence. Like you said, when you grew up in the inner city, you saw a portion of what you could be, but you didn't have the real vision that you have today.
yeah.
So it's like he was saying to me that traumas
Mm,
coming into the earth, this is what he told me, and he was referencing me. He told me that he asked me a question and he said, "Do you remember anything about your birth?"
mm,
And I was telling him, I said, "Yeah, I remember that I questioned when I got to a certain age. I questioned my birth certificate because my birth certificate said en route to Michael Reese Hospital.
wow.
I questioned that. And a lot of the things that we go through in life and the traumas and the things that we have to deal with, he told me that he brought out of me a memory of when I asked my parents, well, what happened that
Mm,
my birth
mm,
certificate said en route to Michael Reese Hospital? And
mhm.
my mom told me that I was born in the back of a police paddy wagon. So can you imagine my body?
Oh, wow.
Coming into the world in that dark space.
Yeah.
Or my
Yeah.
mother
Negative space.
traumatized,
Yeah.
negative coming in, and he was sharing with me how that experience was a memory.
Wow.
It's a memory, and it has formed different things in your life. So when you said that, I believe that what God has taught me from the projects to the penthouse, He
Mm,
taught me how to rethink, change my thinking. Like you said, you had the vision.
yeah.
I didn't. So I wanted to share that with you because that's important.
Okay.
We belong. We do belong, despite
Yeah.
what circumstances say,
Yeah.
despite what people say about us. We belong, and I love that name.
Oh, thank you. That was God. I was like,
Oh,
people we've had the Page Awards for several years, and people were like, "Well, why wouldn't it just be the Page Foundation?" I said, "Well, number one, I got two other kids.
that's right.
Can't name everything, P."
Right, right.
I didn't want to limit it to what the Page Awards is about. I want it to be expandable.
Okay.
I want to be able to, at some point, reach beyond the special needs community and help seniors, help war veterans. Like, I want to be able to expand and help other people. So saying you belong allows us that, it gives us that flexibility to expand
Yes.
if we want to. So yeah, it,
Tell us about. I'm sorry.
go
I'm gonna
ahead.
interrupt you, girl, because as it come to me, I
Yeah.
want to know. I know, but tell us the story of how the Page Award started.
The Page Awards started. I have to give Sheila White a shout out of the Road to Eternity. We were in the first year of the Wendy Life Show. And the Wendy Life Show, 95% of the things that I do is to support caregivers and the special needs community. So the Wendy Life Show is about bringing people on and talking to people, them telling them their stories about how they are overcoming a disability every day, or how they wake up every morning with a heart and a passion to help someone with a disability have a better life. And I was talking with her about not a struggle, but I was challenged with, I always want to be able to make people know that there is Paige. You know, you can't see her, touch her, feel her, but she's here. She's a part of me. She's my firstborn. And in that discussion, we came up with the Page Awards. And I'm like, I've never heard of any such thing. You got awards for everything. You have awards for bad movies.
Yo.
Right. Well, I forgot what it's called, but they have a whole award ceremony for that. And I said, I want to celebrate the people in our community. Number one, because they're not used to being celebrated. Number two, I want to teach people like you, Judith, about our world.
Yes.
I want people to see the strength. The people who have disabilities, the people who get up every day to overcome, and they do, they're stronger than us.
Yes.
Like, I may not sleep well one night, but thankfully I can get up and walk. I can make myself something to eat. I can get in the car and drive. I can do regular things, for lack of a better word. But there are people who get up every day and overcome things. And I want to bring those people to the forefront in hopes of keeping them going,
Mm-hmm.
but then to keep you going, because you see your blessing. You see that you are okay.
Yes.
You may be going through something today, but if you just keep pushing, my favorite song is "Keep On" by D Train. I'm aging myself a little bit. It says, keep on stepping until you reach higher ground.
Right.
And a lot of times we get stuck in that space.
Mm-hmm.
When the victory, when the glory, when the blessing is in that next step.
That's right.
And so the Page Awards came about that way. And the first year I'm like, ain't nobody coming. There's nobody gonna come to this. And the people showed up, and the people who were celebrated were so warm and thankful. And I said, Wendy, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Because these people, I mean, one guy took he was in a wheelchair. He took whatever mode of transportation he could take on a Sunday to get there. And he showed up with the biggest smile. He was just happy to be in the room. He was happy to be recognized for, he had made a movie from his perspective going through Chicago in a wheelchair. But he showed, girl, you put me on public transportation day, I'm gonna be hot when I show up.
Right.
You
But
know,
he did it.
that's just the, I don't fault it. It's just that I like to get there. And I
Right.
know because I've been on public transportation that, you're going to have to take this bus to this bus and might have to get on that train. And
Right.
the fact that he did that and he showed up happy, that changed me.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm running late. I'm coming. I'm going to be there. Things outside of my control are outside of my control, but I'll be there.
Mhm.
And I'm going to show up with a smile.
Yes. And that's how Paige showed up when she was
And
transitioned.
yeah,
Yeah.
Paige was born healthy, for people who don't know, as well as people who don't realize how fragile and how quick things can change. Paige was born healthy, beautiful little girl, and sense of humor and attitude. I don't know where she got that from.
Yeah, you know.
But, and she became ill at 13 months. Like literally Friday, we had gone to the mall, hung out with my sister. Sunday, we're at the hospital and they were planning her funeral.
My God.
That's how quickly this pneumococcal meningitis grabbed her and snatched her.
Mm.
But even then, we saw her personality. You knew when you were getting on her nerves because she'd exhale like if you just could move. She would smile. She would make a slight noise when she was happy. And we learned to celebrate that. I taught Matthew, let's celebrate these things because today she's happy.
Mhm.
And I also told him, I said, we're going to give her permission to go when she's ready to go because we believe in a higher power.
That's right.
And when she transitioned, that day I knew it. And amongst the pain and the shock, I thanked God for allowing me to be her mother and for allowing me to go through that journey with her. And I knew I had left it all out on the table with her.
Mhm.
And I still fuss at her because she left it a little unbalanced in the house. It was 2 girls, 2 boys.
Right.
But she touched so many people. She brought so many people into our lives that we would not have met had she not been in the state that she was in. So she came and she did what she was supposed to do. And
That's right.
despite them planning her funeral at 13 months, she lived to 15.
Yes.
And her birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks. She would have turned 25.
Mhm.
But she's up there dancing and smiling and she's happy and she's good.
She's opened her life, opened up so many doors. I can still remember being at the Page Awards just a couple months ago. And one of the things that touched me, there was a young man that he rapped.
Yes.
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 And he rapped and he told his story of his, what do you call it? It's not disabled. Tanya, Dr. T calls it, what does she call it?
I'm
Perfectly abled.
yeah. Yeah.
Different, no, differently
Disabled?
able.
Okay.
Differently able.
Okay.
So one of the things that touched me, and I know Paige's life was not in vain.
No.
The
No.
people that got up there and expressed their just not differently abled abilities were so enthusiastic. It was as if they were proud,
Yeah.
and that confidence, that the gentleman that was singing, that was rapping, he was
Yeah.
a recording artist, and he
Yeah.
went on to do the things that was, probably out of his league if he would not have the encouragement of people like you,
Yeah.
when to help him to embrace the differently able abilities that he had. So
Yeah.
I thank God that you brought that to the forefront with Paige's life and
Yeah.
sharing her life, and you know how to care, because a lot of times we don't know how to care for people who are differently able.
Right.
We look as if
And
it's a
you're not supposed to
right.
until it happens. Um, but treating people with respect, with dignity,
Mhm.
you figured out. Had you, Judith, had you met me when I was 22, you would. There's no way this woman, number one's gonna have kids because she a little wild.
Okay, we all had that.
Couldn't have told me that I'm gonna be able to take care of people. I
Mhm.
babysat my niece one time when she was a baby, and I'm like, Lord, she crying, she pooping, I can't do this. I
Yeah.
never do it again, and I love her, and she's she's forgiven me for it. But yeah, I didn't think I had it in me. So most people say, I don't know how you do it. Well, you're not supposed to. You
Mhm.
figure it out when it happens.
Right.
But because I love my kids so much, I will do anything for them. I had to figure it out.
Mhm.
I had to realize that things about my life would probably forever be different. I couldn't go kick it, like I was used to doing. I
Mhm.
couldn't, I had to make decisions. I had to learn how to, the shy girl from the inner city, I had to learn to question doctors. I had to learn to challenge doctors,
Mhm.
which I'm very good at now. But
Yeah.
at that point, I didn't know. But there, you didn't know how to ride a bike until you did it.
Right.
You didn't know how to drive a car until you did it. So this is no different. The difference is your heart is in it. This
Mhm.
is your heart and you're doing it. There are people who get paid to be caregivers, and God bless them because it takes a lot. But if you have to do the work to, if you're a believer, hopefully you are, to stay connected and keep your faith strong
Yes.
because he will lead you.
Mhm.
He will guide you. He will help you make decisions. I had a pastor who came to the hospital when they were taking Paige off the ventilator, and I'm like, I no, they were encouraging me. I'm like, I can't make the decision whether she lives or dies. I was very torn about that. And he said, you're not making the decision. God is making the decision. So if you take her off and she doesn't continue, you didn't make that decision. I was like,
Oh,
gotcha. We put a lot of things on ourselves that if you give it over to God, he got it.
that's
And it's done right.
mhm.
So her life means so much. My boys are my rock. When Paige passed, had Christian not been in his diaper swimming with a smile,
Yes.
not asking for a bowl of cereal, like I could have stayed in the bed,
Mhm.
just being honest. And God blessed me with two boys who needed my attention. And Christian, who is also disabled or differently abled or special needs or whatever word you want to put it, he smiles every day. He could be in the hospital with IVs and he gonna give you a slight smile and show his dimples. If he can do that, I can
Yes.
show up. If he can show up, I can show up.
Yes.
But those are the lessons that I've learned. I look to people that society deemed less than or weaker than, and I find their strength. And I tap into that to
Mm.
increase my own strength. And that's what I hope people get when they come to the Page Awards, November 5th, 2023. Yeah,
Yes.
I already know the
Yes.
date.
Go to the youbelongfoundation.com.org. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Make your donations to help
Yeah.
her, to help others, to continue the journey that you're doing. And with all that you're doing, sis, and Christian
Yeah.
is differently abled as well.
Yeah.
You
He'll
are
be 19 tomorrow.
amazing.
So happy early birthday, Christian.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Christian.
19 tomorrow. But he's a blessing. He's a blessing. And James is a blessing. But had I not embraced the blessings of my children, I probably would not be with James. Had I just been angry, which is easy to do, and no one's gonna fault you.
Now, why would you say that? What prompted you to say that?
Because James is James is such a special part of my life. He came in my life when I didn't think anyone would sign on to this life. When I met James, Paige was still alive, and I knew I was gonna get a date. I'm a little bit confident I can get somebody to take me to the movie.
Right.
But for someone to sign on to this, I was okay with that. And I'm that person who tell you my business on day one. Like, I don't need to waste any more your time or my time if this is something that you're scared of. And I told him, I said, I have 3 kids, 2 special needs. And he was like, okay. I said, 2, man, 2 special needs. I was like, okay. And I introduced him to the kids, and which is something I'd never done. And he didn't. I've learned to see the small cues. People like, and then they try and straighten it up.
Yeah.
He was comfortable. And he said later that we were attracted to each other as friends first, 0 romance. But he said he was attracted to me as a friend because he saw how I was about my kids. But had I not embraced the journey, the roller coaster of emotions that we have,
Yes.
then he wouldn't have seen that. So God has blessed me. James says, Lord, Judith, he signed on to it.
Yes. But you know what? God would not have had no other person.
There is no other
Dr.
person.
Barnes is amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing, wise.
Yes.
Wise beyond his age.
Yeah.
Wise, I mean, almost in the form of like Joseph.
Yeah.
Like Joseph.
Wise. But you know what? He's very funny.
Yeah.
I told God, I said, if you want me to get married again, because I had told God, I wasn't doing it no more. But I said, I'm going to be open to your will, what it is you want from me. But he has to have a sense of humor because life can get very serious over here.
Yes.
And he's funny. He makes me laugh all day, every day.
Blessing.
And I love that. And I need that because having the challenges that we can have here, as well as my own overcoming of depression. I don't need you to be depressed because I'm trying to keep my head up. So you got to keep your head up so we can keep our head up. And he does that for me. And he prays with me and for me.
Yes.
And I need that. And God gave me exactly what I needed in James. Like he checked, we were at lunch and I'm listening to him talk. And I had a written list. Y'all write your list. It's not about the height. It's not about light skin, dark skin, race. It's about that inner person.
That's what's inside.
James is talking and I'm in my head like, check.
Check.
Oh, okay, Lord, you've added boxes to my list to check that I hadn't thought about. But that's what happens when you trust God. But that takes work. It's easy to say for me now, but 10 years ago, it wasn't that easy. It was easier, but it wasn't this easy. But the more you hone that muscle, that faith muscle, it stays strong and you are prepared for everything that comes your way because God got you.
That's right. That's what I want you to touch on, Wendy, if you don't mind. Touch on that emotional part of going through struggle and going through depression and going through different things in life when life hits you, because it's going to hit all of us. What was your mechanism that you used to keep you outside of James, that had you to know that you belonged in this earth despite what you were going through? You belonged in a loving and kind and considerate relationship. You belonged to be happy, and despite having to care for 2 special needs children. What was it emotionally for you that brought you over?
Wow. That's a good question, Judith. It took a lot. It took me praying and just trusting God blindly. I'd have to look in the mirror every day. I literally had to look in the mirror first thing in the morning before I brush my teeth, wash my face, and I had to say, "You are beautiful because you are made by God."
That's right.
I had to be the example for my son Matthew, who is 21. I had to be the example to him. I had to let him see that life is gonna throw some stuff at you, but you gotta keep going.
Keep going.
You don't you don't get to sit in a corner and wallow. You got about in my family, in my family, we got people who you call for stuff. You don't call me to whine for too long.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes, but then we need to figure out what's the solution, honey. What you want to do? And
Mhm.
I needed to teach that to Matthew. I needed that to be his foundation. That life is gonna because Matthew is the middle child. His oldest sibling, his youngest sibling, are disabled.
Mhm.
So he's an only child, but he's not. I needed him to have that strength that I knew that was in him to show up. So I didn't have a choice. I can't sit around saying, well, woe is me. Well, I can't cause. I mean, I'm down because I can't do that. And he see that. So
Mhm.
being a mother is what brought me closer to that person.
I was just about to say that.
Because when you
That
look at your kids, my daughter was my twin. And here I am talking about, like I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this. And I look at her and I see nothing but beauty. I saw God's love in her. Well, who am I to say that I'm not something?
Mhm.
When you have children, it and you could have never told me this before children. They change you in a way that's good if it's your will for them to be the best that they can be.
That's right.
And that's what my kids did it. I don't take any credit. I had therapy. I've had lots of therapy. I've prayed a lot. I've talked to pastors. I started opening up about my story, not knowing if you would want to hear it. I
Mm.
told my story so that for
That's
me
right.
telling my story about my sexual abuse and my promiscuity, my mistakes that I've made in the past,
That's right.
it is taking that secret and bringing light to it.
Mhm.
So, like I told you before we got on, I was like,
Yeah, I was just
telling me to say, "Oh, I'm gonna tell somebody this." I told it 2 weeks ago on Facebook. I told it last year at the women's conference because yes, we all make mistakes, but we want to hide it because we feel like, and people will judge you.
that's it.
They're gonna judge you if you're doing well.
Yep.
They judged Jesus,
That's it.
so you
Cool.
can't get away from that judgment. So why not walk forward with your head held high and own the mistakes you've made, but
Mhm.
then own the lessons and the strength that you've gained from it.
That's right.
And prayerfully, I've taught my son that.
Oh, you did. Just as you were speaking, Wendy, I just saw how you're such a giver.
Thank
And
you.
I asked you the question, you use a giving to get over
Yeah,
because you desired that your son would not have to wallow in pity of what his life could have been like had you not put on your big girl panties and
yeah,
kept moving by taking care of your two differently abled children.
yeah,
Wallow in that, and your desire as a mother, as a covering, as a nurturer, was to make sure he didn't have any of that stuff in his spirit that
right.
would lay him in this life for him. So you even gave in that.
Yeah.
Look at it, you know what I'm
Never
saying?
thought about it that way, but yeah,
You gave. That was a giving because you're getting out of it. You came out of it by wanting to give. And
yeah,
that's just you. You give the Page Awards. You give through the You Belong Foundation. You give of your time. That's a lot. That's a lot,
but it
and
gives
that's
back to you.
commendable.
It gives back to you.
Sowing and reaping.
Yeah, the reaping is so much bigger than the sowing.
Yes, it is.
Like I
And
said, that one woman ran up to me at a women's conference who I had never seen before, and she knew who I was because of what something I said from my story when Christian and I would do the lives on Wednesdays. I said, Lord, I just need one. I, it would be nice to look up and see, you've gone viral.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's about that one. And not only did we touch one, but she came up to me so that I had that evidence in front of me that it was one that I touched. And it was more Christian because, Christian has his whole fan club.
Yes.
They looking for him at the Page Awards. I'm like, what the?
He was there, front
He
and
was there enjoying every minute of it, every minute of it. But that's important. When you tap into what you can do for someone else, it's healing.
yes, it is.
I can talk about Paige most days without crying
Yes.
because she's still with me. I can talk about our challenges with Christian, because he's amazing. I can talk about Matthew with a smile because somehow
Mhm.
gave me what I needed to make him continue to feel special in this weird space that he was in that I had no experience in myself. Matthew he is such an incredible man. We have conversations that I'm just like, inside, I'm just like, God, this is
Good.
this is so good. He still wants to talk to his mother. It's what he wants. This
Yeah.
is good. And I'm screaming inside, thanking God for that relationship that we have because I didn't know
Mhm.
if he would grow up and be resentful that he was put into this type of family. But yeah, he's amazing. And he has a great relationship with his dad. He has a great relationship with James. When you
That's
saw us at the Page Awards, we were one family. And
yes.
we are one family.
Yes.
And I'm
That was amazing.
always like, Mom, always talking about teachable moments. That's a teachable moment for somebody out there.
Yes.
I love the father of my children. I chose him.
That's it.
I wish him the best.
Yes.
And I want him to be there for the Page Awards. I want him to participate. He is.
He participated. Yes.
We didn't work out, but that's all right. It happens.
That's it.
But I want Matthew to see that. Like I'm always thinking about what Matthew sees
Mhm.
and then what other people see.
That's that giving.
Yeah, it gives people hope. It gives people a different perspective than what, girl, I would not, girl, I would. No,
Mhm.
that's not helping nobody, especially you.
Mhm. So you belong is not just for the special needs community. You want people in general to know that throughout trials, tribulations, and we're going to have triumphs. We're going to have different emotions that we have to contend with. But it's important to be truthful,
Mhm.
open, and sharing, correct?
Yes.
Which is why we're here today because
And
we want
hearing
you.
people's stories without judgment.
That's it.
I hear I hear your story, Judith. I didn't grow up in the projects,
Mm-hmm.
but I can hear your story today
Mm-hmm.
and learn something from myself.
Yeah.
Maybe you did do something that I would never do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand. I understand the mindset. I want to understand the mindset that made you make that decision or make that choice
Mm-hmm.
so that I can learn. So if you tell me you went down the street and you turned left and fell through a hole, I don't need to go down the street and turn left to find out for myself.
Each one teach one.
I've learned from you, but oftentimes we want to judge like, oh, I wouldn't have did that. But you
Mm-hmm.
did. So okay, they did. And so your job is to love them
Yeah.
anyway.
Anyway.
Love thine enemies.
Yes.
I love
Bless those that
I
curse.
don't I don't have to be around everybody.
That's right.
I don't need to be around everyone. I can understand people's energy and I don't need to be around them, but I can still love you. I still wish the best for you. But that took years, honey. It don't happen overnight. It takes practice. It takes years. It takes you feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It takes you feeling that growth when you
Mm-hmm.
start looking at people from an eye of love.
Mm-hmm.
That they're doing something that seems crazy, but I'm gonna love you anyway.
Mm-hmm. You know something when you said that, sis, I don't want to go off topic. It's not really off topic, but it talks about emotions and children and the sacrifices that parents make
Mhm.
try to make sure that their children, because I was talking to my husband the other day, and we were talking about things that we want to plan to do to show Shavine she don't have to go through some of the things that we've been through, and planning. And in the world today is so much chaos and families and stuff like that. And I was just looking, I think a couple weeks ago, when Master P and
Mhm.
his son had that situation in public,
Mhm.
and Master P humbled himself and
Yeah.
got on there, and he said, look, you're 30 years old. I made you live a certain way through my struggles, through my hustle, through the things that I did that wasn't quite right. But I made sure you didn't have to right any of my wrongs.
Mhm.
But he publicly apologized to his son. And I
Mhm.
could hear when he said it, I could hear his heart almost the same as you were saying with, you don't want Matthew to feel the pain that you feel. And when
Right.
you love somebody, you don't it's a attack that the enemy tries to place
Yeah.
on us
Yeah.
to divide the families through money or whatever situations. But I commend him for the way he handled.
It's huge. I
That
hadn't
was
heard about that, but
huge.
that's huge.
And for
From
somebody to
Master
be
P?
a
What?
Master P.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
and
Yeah.
that one. But it was commendable how he handled it publicly, because a lot of times, and that from where he used to be and where he is now, no judgment. You can tell where God has just took his heart,
Yeah.
because that's hurting. If Matthew tell you, well, I didn't ask to be born in this family, and I didn't need to have two disabled. You know what I'm saying? If his premise was like that, then the pain that would cause you, when you did everything in your power to ensure that they received a good life better than what you had, probably they didn't live. I've been to your home. They ain't lived and
They
then
didn't
no.
have no dining. They didn't have bunk beds in the dining room.
Exactly. I've been to your home, so I know
Yeah.
that you guys have provided. So imagine when people that don't take light of situations like that emotionally,
Mhm.
let their whole families be destroyed
Yeah, and
by.
so think about that really quickly. Had Matthew said that to me, if someone says something to you, that's their truth.
Mm,
You have to hear their truth. Oftentimes, and I have to practice it still today, I want to be like, what? I did this.
okay,
I want to hear their truth. Something from their perspective of the way they saw the situation, that's their truth. So we want to negate what someone is saying to us.
that's right.
Had Matthew said that to me, I would have heard his truth. But also knowing I did the best I could. I
Mm,
can only do so much
that's love.
with the guy, girl, that we don't have enough time about what we've been through.
Yes,
But my goal was for Matthew to always feel special. Matthew today can call me and say, "Ma, can we have a me day?" I
oh,
can tell him I need a me day. And we know that's just the two of us.
that's right.
He has me all to himself. I have him all to myself.
That's amazing.
But I didn't have a book. I mean, who gives birth to two special needs kids? I
Exactly.
didn't have an example, but I had to trust God, and I had Paige and Christian are so easy to love. They were easy. Christian is, I mean, Christian's gonna do something in his diaper that's gonna have you talk to the Lord, but he's easy to love.
Yes.
I had to show Matthew. My mother duties with Christian and Paige were to take care of them, to love them.
Mhm.
My job with Matthew was to do that plus teach him.
That's right.
I have to teach you. You can't, that opposite sex parent is that both parents are very important. It's that opposite sex parent, though, that creates something in you that lives with you throughout. So I can't have Matthew going out there, treating women crazy because, my mama, she did this, or I saw my mom do that. Matthew didn't see, what's it called? The, um, the revolving door of men coming in the house.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't see that. I wouldn't have it. He's going to see, if he saw a man, he was going to see a strong one who treated me with the utmost respect, who treated him with respect.
That's right.
If you have a problem with my son, you have a problem with me.
Mm-hmm.
And Matthew had to know that.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, Mom, please don't call the teacher. No, the teacher will be called, because what she will not do is talk to my son this way.
That's right.
Mama, please. No. You don't know that if there's no one else on this earth who has your back 150%, I have your back. Now, if I have to go up, now you might need bail money.
Yeah.
You should go up and handle
It's going down.
It's going down because I'm from the city. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we do.
Yeah, this is what we do.
Yeah, so he had to know that, and I think that has created a strength in him, a confidence in him, that he's amazing. He knows he's amazing. He has God took the great parts of his dad and the great parts of me and put it in him.
Yes.
And I'm
I
thankful
watched
for
him
that.
too. I watched how he was with Christian at the Page Awards.
Yeah.
He was pushing his brother around. See, people don't realize, people watch.
Yeah.
They can see, you can live your truth,
Mm-hmm.
a lie in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
When people actually pay attention, they can see your truth. And
Yeah.
I saw Matthew pushing his brother around.
Girl, Matthew will fight me about Christian. Don't mess
So,
with Christian, because that's an entire problem.
but you see what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
People live lies and they call it their truths. But
Yeah.
you guys are living your truths, and you're training and teaching your children, and you're taking care of your family, and you each one is teaching one. The wisdom that you guys are conveying to us, just being able to listen, is not just for the special needs, it's for us.
Right. It's for
We
yeah.
belong.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I
You're
love your
amazing.
family.
You're beautiful. You have a reason for being. I jokingly, but not jokingly, say that it took me 50 years to figure out my talents.
Let me see.
I didn't know.
I'm older than you, Wendy.
Just a little bit, girl.
Yeah, just a little bit. So it probably took me a little longer than that. But you know what?
But you and I are here to tell people who haven't made it to our age yet,
That's it.
you have a gift.
Yeah.
You have a talent. It may not be that you can play an instrument beautifully. It may not be that you have this eloquent speaking or singing voice,
That's
but
right.
you have a talent.
You got something to give.
You have something to give. And when you just go with that and just lean into it, it becomes interesting, the growth that comes out of you, the love that you find within yourself that you didn't know you had. You're trying to compare. I'm trying to compare, with Judith, she was in the projects and I didn't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's Judith's story. So
Huh?
why? But people are comparing themselves to you. People, Wendy, I don't know how you can do this. You don't have to know.
Right.
This is my story.
That's right.
Or people will say, I don't have the problems that you have. Okay, but your problems are still valid. That doesn't diminish the fact that you're going through something.
That's right.
So let's figure that out. Don't compare it to diminish it.
Mm-hmm.
You compare it to find some strength, yes, but not to diminish what you're going through, because what you go through is that's your plate. Now, if you want me to help you figure out how to do something with that plate, because I'm going to tell you just where to hand it over to.
Yes.
Give it over to God. But I think that social media and the media, we want to have abs like this person. We want to have long hair like this person. This person is a sex symbol. I'm not pretty. Yes, you are.
You belong.
You're pretty, though.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to be that pretty. You're pretty. You belong. And as soon as you internalize those words, I belong. Someone called me years ago and she said, Wendy, you're enough. And oh Lord, just the dam of tears. I'm just like, just called me out of the blue and said, well, I just want you to know that you are enough.
Mm-hmm.
What? No, because, I don't have a degree. You're enough.
You're enough.
If you want to, as we look outside of ourselves and we find examples of what we aren't, we can also find examples of what we can be.
That's it.
I look at women of all ages, all races, all ethnic backgrounds, and I draw from that.
Mm.
Oh, okay. I can do that. I'm looking at people to give me strength, not to be like, well, I'm not as pretty as her.
That's right. To compare yourself.
You got to stop comparing. We have to stop comparing.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's living their lie and it looks pretty on social media, that's their business.
Come on, sis.
Not your business. It's too hard to be Judith for me.
My
It's
goodness.
stressful for me to try and be Judith.
Come on.
For me to wake up and be authentically Wendy, who my husband said snored last night and kept him up.
Exactly.
That's me.
That's it. That's it.
You have to be strong in who you are, and you don't know who you are until you tap into whose you are.
That's it. That's it, sis. That part.
Yeah.
Right there.
That part. It makes
you know who you are, whose you are.
Yeah. So any guy could say anything to me like, you're so, I think you're so, and I'm like, thank you.
That's
It
it.
doesn't add to or take away from my day because I know who I am. I know what work I've done to become who I am. And if that's pleasing to your eye, that's nice. But I got a husband at home. You don't even understand.
Oh, husband. Me too, girl.
That loves
ain't giving it up.
Say nothing.
And ain't giving them up.
Oh, no. I will fight you. Yeah, he knows I will fight you about him.
Exactly.
I do. I hit people in the face. But that makes a difference. Then you don't make those mistakes. You don't go down those rabbit holes of relationship after relationship. Men are no, they're not. There's something in you to keep attracting them, though.
That's it.
That's what we're not telling our girlfriends. Well, honey, okay, that's your fifth one. He about the same height. He drive the counter the same car. That's you.
You can tell them.
Oh, I do. That's why they call me.
Right.
People are very careful when they call me because I had the same issue. I kept running out. What is wrong with these crazy men out here? What's wrong with you that's attracting them, Wendy? Like I got that tap. And I was like, wait, what? I'm attracting these people. So I need to make that change within me.
That's right.
To get a different type of person. And I promise you, the next guy that I dated was James.
When you waited.
When I waited and when I did the work to change what was in me to attract that type.
And that's pretty much how I got Kevin. Kevin came into my life. Once God decided that I wanted to decide to stop doing it my way.
Yeah.
It's visualizing it the way I wanted things done. Then Kevin came into my life, and it's just been a growth. I'm growing and I'm learning and I'm growing through the pain, growing through the strain, growing, just being real with it. You have to grow through things. Everything that God has for you don't look like it's for you.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
We looking at something and we looking at our appetite.
Yeah.
Because your appetite say you want cookies. God may want you to have cornbread.
Yeah.
You just have to be, and for me, it was me deciding, okay, God, not my will no more. My will got me messed up.
You have to completely take yourself out of it and allow him to do
your will.
Ask God to create in you what he would present for that other person. Because we're so big, he got to have, he need to come with this and he need to have
we got all these preconceived notions.
He got to be this tall. He can't be short. But if that ideal person for you is just a little bit shorter than what you consider your ideal, is that really what you're going to use to not be happy forevermore? Really? Nope. I am glad that James is 6 feet tall. However,
Kevin almost there. He's
to figure it out. But we have to take that external desire. Like when I ate chicken, there was this place who I won't name. The chicken is good. They got biscuits that will make you
Thank
slap your
you
mama.
later.
But it made me sick. Every now and then, I would just be sick for days after eating it. So why am I stopped eating it? Well, Wendy, this might not be the time, but it might be the time. I just don't touch it. If you act that way with the people that are in your circle who you allow in your space, yes, he's handsome, he's beautiful, and he got the muscles and the eyes, and he got the walk, and he got the charisma, but he's not good for you. Just run.
Run.
Yeah,
Because
we
you
want to have our girlfriends tell me, like, girl, he's so, oh my God. It's, yeah. But at the end of the day, you want to be happy.
Yes.
So,
And
Jane, because I don't have a type, I don't have a type. It's how that person makes me feel. And when I became more in tune with what God had for me, then I didn't accept less than.
and that was a mighty man of God.
Ooh.
We both blessed.
I still look at him like, really?
Yeah, yeah. I have those moments.
This is our 10th year together. It's like, really?
Yeah, we're 9.
And I'm thankful. And I don't sit there and say I don't deserve you. God gave me who I was supposed to have, and I'm thankful for it. Because he's an amazing man. Yeah.
We're blessed.
We're blessed. Yeah.
We are blessed. Throughout the trials, the tribulations, the losses.
Life is gonna do that. Life is going to, the longer you live, life is going to do that. Yeah. So why not figure out who you are? So go ahead.
Remember we were talking earlier before we went on. I told you today I went to a funeral, and it was amazing. Tears about to come to my eyes, but it wasn't a sad funeral. For a good friend of mine, Pierre Dunnigan and Javondalyn Dunnigan, their mother Patricia Dunnigan, and everybody that got up there talked about the phases of their life and how she affected them.
Yeah.
How she helped them, how she gave her time to them. And then the minister talked about the seasons of her life. And in every season, she was helpful to Mayor Harold Washington, to politicians, to pastors, just helping people. Like helping people.
Yeah.
And it was such a beautiful experience that it brought tears to my eyes, because I want to be spoken of.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
I want to be the one that somebody can say when I lay to rest that Judy always took and gave. Like I told you, you gave when you were going through, you gave. And I believe that's significant to give as you're going through life. So that when your time is over and you get ready to go to your rest, people can speak, and they can speak so eloquently like they did. They spoke of her. I thought she was like a politician or something, or what's her name? Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
The way the people told their stories, young and old.
Yeah.
And that's important. Let us know that we belong.
Yeah.
We belong. We belong.
Yes.
We belong to whatever circumstance we're in. We belong to whatever situation that we're in. If we belong, the confidence in knowing that we belong will take us faith.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's through the app. It's through the past the moon and the star. It goes so high when you tap into that. And when you told me that earlier, all I could think about is, can you imagine leaving here empty?
No.
Can you imagine leaving here and you've given all? You gave at every chance you. And when people hear give, they think like, well, I'm tired, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the knowledge. It's giving of what you have, not to the point where you are wrung out and empty. Like as far as that cup, you're filling your own cup, but you fill it up so you can pour it out some more.
Come on.
And most people don't. We're in a society that's like, I'm not going to let her use my phone because now I don't have a phone. But you don't know. Maybe she owned a phone company and give you something better.
That's it.
No.
That's it.
Giving of your time, somebody then when you need time, when you need someone to help you, they're there.
Yeah.
But you got to give to receive. Not you don't give in the hopes of receiving, but you're giving, like you said, you're sowing.
Mm-hmm.
You're watering that seed, you're giving it the light, you're giving it the love. You're
Yeah.
pruning it. We don't want to prune. We have to prune.
Yes.
We have to let go of people and things and habits so that when the reaping comes, baby,
Come on.
ugh, you know, you put that tomato seed in the ground, how many tomatoes
Tomatoes
you
come
even
back.
because you have so many.
Got
That's
some
the way
in the
I want to
freezer.
have my life. Yeah, that's how I want my life to be. When I heard Chadwick Boseman passed, I said,
Yes.
what a life though. He poured out so much in such a short amount of time. Who am I to complain about something?
Come on.
I think about Paige, who passed at 15. She gave so much. She touched so many lives in her silence.
Mm-hmm.
I have a voice. I'm going to tell my story. And I'm going to pray that Judith gets something out of it. I'm going
Yes.
to tell my story in hopes that someone gets something out of it so that they can realize that you're blessed. We are here. We woke up this morning for a reason. People went to bed last night and didn't wake up this morning,
That's right.
and you did. So
Yeah.
let's go. That's Matthew can't stand it when I said, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yep. We're having a bad day, but let's go.
Go.
We got to keep it moving. We got to keep on. Keep on stepping until you reach higher ground.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
amazing. Your life is impeccable.
Thank you.
And as we spoke earlier, we are both going to transition finished.
Finish.
Finished.
Yeah.
Finished with the work that God has called us to, finished with anything we desire to do, finished.
Yes.
We're not going to die empty. And today's service let me know that. And I thought about, my personal losses, losing my father, my sister, my brother, my sister and brother within a 7-month period,
Mm.
pain that's associated with that. But when I went to that funeral today and I began to think about their lives and think about the good things that they left
Yeah.
with me,
Yes.
with other people tell me how they would help and how they would always be my sister always be on the phone with every family member.
Yeah.
Things like that fill you up and take it helps to ease the pain.
That's in your legacy. That's part of your family legacy
Yes.
that you are continuing on.
Yeah.
I gave James a birthday party for his birthday last month, and he
I
fought me.
was there.
Right, he fought me on it, but I said, just like those people at the funeral you went to today was talking about the stories, I
Yeah.
want him to receive those while he was here. So
Yeah.
for me, when I see stories of someone passing too soon, too early, the people that I love know that I love it. Like my friends know we can talk 3 times that day, but each time we're going to end that conversation with "I love you." They know that I love them. My family knows that. Matthew knows that. I know we just talked, and then you know how you get off the phone, you forget something, you call back. We're going to say
Yeah.
it
I
again.
love.
You
Yeah.
have to
We
pour
do
that
that
love
too.
out now. You can't say, "Well, they know," or "I'll do it tomorrow," or "They did this to me, so I'm not talking to them." You don't have that right in my life to not talk to me because tomorrow's not promised for either one of us.
That's
And what
right.
I won't have is me leave this earth and the last thing you said to me was you was mad or you wasn't answering my phone calls because of something I did.
Silly.
If I love you, we're gonna talk it out and we're gonna keep it moving.
That's it.
So
That's
that's what we need to do more of
we need to love one another.
and keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
We're all human. We're gonna mess up. I'm gonna mess up tomorrow. I'm so sure.
I just messed up. But you know what? God is so loving, kind. He's so kind. He's so compassionate, and we just have to take on the characteristics of the
Yeah.
Most High.
Yeah.
Love
And
on
it's
one
not
another.
easy. It's not supposed to be easy, but it's so rewarding.
It is.
It's so rewarding.
It feels good. I
It,
feel as I've gotten older and I've learned more to follow after the Most High. I get pleasure in giving.
yeah.
I mean, a person don't leave my house without something.
Yeah.
if you come to my home, I was sitting here thinking, I said, I gotta get Wendy something.
You gave me something.
I, I know, but I'm just that's just it just does something for me. It ain't for you.
Yeah.
It does something for me. And like you when you were saying earlier, you gave yourself for your children.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing Christ did for us.
Yeah.
To give.
And there's
That's
something
the
in
same
receiving.
thing.
A lot of times, you go to give someone, no, I can't take that. I want y'all to practice with me and say thank you and
Thank you.
receive it
Thank
because
you.
you're
Say
blocking
thank
that person's blessing by not receiving. And that's something that givers have a hard time with.
yes.
Oh no, you ain't got to do that for me, but I want to.
Let me do it.
Let me do it.
Let
It's
me do it.
like I've done it and I've had people call, like, when did you just zelled me? I did. You didn't have to, but I did. And if you zell it back, we can do this back and forth. I don't know if Zelle has this
Yes.
limit, but
Yes.
it's my blessing because when I was hungry, my coworkers gathered around and collected money so I can get groceries.
Come on.
Why can't I do that?
Come on.
I didn't ask. They did it for me. And while I felt bad on one point, I turned it around. I'm like, girl, because it was you eat or you pay rent.
Which one you gonna do?
Warm and hungry. I don't want to be cold and full. So I
Right.
paid rent. And my friend at work found out about it and they took up donations and gave me money for groceries.
And
What
look,
a blessing that was in freaking 85, 80, no,
come on.
88. I can do that now. I had someone pay for my groceries in the store when I realized I had left my debit card. I didn't not have the money. I just
Mhm,
forgot my card. And a
mhm.
couple behind me was like, we got you. And I'm like,
And when you're giving like that, there's a blessing in that
there's
because
a
I
future.
never forget. I was not married and I needed to pay my mortgage. And I'm not the kind of person, I don't dry bag. I ain't finna call you up and tell you dry bagging on nothing. You know, a little bit of spirit of pride, but God saw through that. Do you know he woke up a woman from the United Kingdom,
Mm,
called me up, met me one time over the phone, and
wow.
told me that the Lord told her to send me $1,000, which was
Wow.
$1,000, which was the total amount of my mortgage.
Look
I
at
learned
God.
from that, Wendy.
Yeah.
I learned from that.
Give it to a stranger is huge. Like I've had, and I should have did it today. I'm gonna be more intentional. I've been in the Starbucks line with an attitude because what they ordering. I did, yeah. What do you,
Right.
and I drive up there and they say the person paid for your drink. Oh, what, like if we did stuff like that, I mean Starbucks ain't cheap, but if you bought something on
Yeah,
a $5 whatever,
I've done it.
and you drive off, so you're not sticking around for the thank you. Like I appreciate.
None of that.
You just want that blessing to sit with them. How
That's it.
big is that?
Yep. Because you don't know what they're going through.
You don't know, and you don't know how you are showing God to them in a way that they may not know. They may not go to church. They
That's
may not even believe, but you gonna get God when you come in my space.
that's
I'm
it.
how to get to you somehow. But that can change someone's world. Like you said, she called you from the UK. What did that do for you?
My God, we speak Susanna. She's from Africa too.
Mhm.
Susanna Unalande,
Okay.
and she met me one time over the phone and called me right when I needed it, and I
Yeah.
was able to make my mortgage. I had never been late on my mortgage, and that was the time that God showed me the hand that give. My father used to tell me that all the time,
Yeah.
that the hand that gives shall never want.
Man, and
And
that's
that
true.
taught me, and
It
from there, 'cause BC, before Christ, girl,
We can talk. That's a whole nother talk. We can
that wasn't happening, sis.
conversation.
That wasn't happening, Captain.
Yeah.
wasn't a giver, but since I've been walking with the Most High since '89,
Mm.
God has changed my heart, and I now know how to give and not give amiss, because
Yeah.
so sometimes you give and God ain't told you to do that. Your emotions told you to do that. So
Mhm.
nevertheless, I've learned so much in giving, and you are
Can
by
you
far.
imagine with your children? Matthew and I did it several Christmases. We didn't do it every, but we go through his toys. You know, you don't play with all this stuff. And there's some kids out there
Yep.
who don't have the benefit of getting toys. So we're going to give them some of these. And very surprisingly, at first time I thought he was going to give me, oh, I thought he was just going to throw tantrums. He was going to be like, this, I want all this. He went through his toys and we had a pile to give away. And we found a shelter, a women's shelter who, they have the children. And we gave them the toys. I'm like, you're going to get toys for Christmas.
Yeah.
But we got to start teaching our kids young,
Hmm.
not only about God as far as his word, but in our actions. They
Hmm.
learn more from our actions than what you can't tell the child, do as I say, not as I do.
You better say that, because they're gonna tell you these kids today.
They gonna do because I saw you when you did that. But I told you don't do that. But I said they're gonna imitate what they saw you do.
That's right.
So if we see, like I taught him, let's just get your toys and let's get some stuff away.
Hmm.
I do it now. I've given boxes of clothes away to
Hmm.
people who I don't know. I buy cute stuff.
Yep, me too.
I can't. I don't want to sit here and hoard all my stuff because this is pretty, and I may wear it. Girl, get it away. Let somebody else
Yeah.
enjoy that. I prefer to give it to like a women's shelter or someone I know who's in need. But I will tap into what the company represents. Like
Hmm.
there's a thrift store near us, and they give proceeds to the epilepsy
Hmm.
organization. I'm all the way down. I'm trying to empty my closet. Like we
Right.
got a dress, but let's start thinking about that more. Think of ways. It's fun when you start thinking of ways to give. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be $1,000. I don't have
That's it.
$1,000 to give you.
That's it.
Okay, but if you bought somebody a $5 latte from Starbucks,
That's a lot.
I
Yeah.
had a friend drop. She just dropped by with flowers. What you what? She's like, I just wanted to bring you flowers. Why? You know how we
Why? What I do?
did I miss a date that I was. She said, no, I just thought of you and I was buying flowers, so I bought you some. How
And
hard
you know what? That's God's kiss to me.
that is. But we gotta learn to receive those things.
I love his kisses.
Yeah, we gotta learn how to receive. We can give them. Givers give them easily.
Yeah.
We gotta know how to receive them, though.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We gotta receive.
How
We want
many
to receive.
ways? Let me ask you this: what other way, other than the you belong foundation.org,
Yeah.
can people who are listening today
Yes.
go online? Y'all heard it.
Yeah.
Go online and make your yearly contribution, which is a tax deductible. It's a 501(c)(3) organization. So, yep, I'm let me do this one. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do like the pastors do. Let's take up the offering, y'all. Bow your head, write your check. But no, seriously, the You Belong Foundation, Wendy is a amazing woman of God. And we've been so tricked into sowing into things that's not God ordained or God maintained. So my heart to you guys is to say, go online to the you belong foundation.org and
Yeah.
make a donation to help those who are differently abled so that she can further the promises that God has placed over her to be able to do what she does for others.
Yeah.
So I believe that what my father taught me, Wendy, is that the hand that gives shall never want. And when you see someone attempting to do the right thing and to help just one person,
Just one.
this
Yeah.
podcast can just help. one
Wonderful.
person from committing suicide, or one person to know that they belong to something, that they belong to this earth, they belong to God, they belong to the person that they're with.
Yeah.
Just that one person. I
Yeah.
believe that it's imperative and it's important for us to sow in good ground,
Mm.
because seeds always multiply.
Always.
Anytime you plant a seed,
Yeah.
people, y'all, you can't hold on to nothing.
Yeah.
If you don't plant it, it cannot grow. Scriptures even said that in the parable of the talents.
Mm.
I gave you one, and you go take it and put it in the ground. When
Yeah.
he see you, he gonna tell you, "Depart from me, you wicked and evil doer. You knew me not." To sow is to cause yourself to grow. You don't sow to give to the other person. That's
No.
what we get this tithing
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You sow so that you can grow in the things that God would have for you to do. And like that lady obeyed God when I had a need,
Yeah.
didn't know me, from
Right.
a whole nother country, from the UK.
Yeah.
She didn't know me. That developed a
Awesome.
relationship between us.
Yeah.
I'll fly to Honduras if I have to,
Yeah.
but not because of what she gave me, but because she obeyed God.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you guys go to the youbelongfoundation.com.org, I'm sorry, and give. Are there other ways that they can give?
You can join our our email list so you can stay apprised of what we're doing. There's so much. Like I want to, what's the date? I want to say we're about Friday, but there's so many people out there who are struggling with a disability or a caregiver. That's why I say you're not alone, because so many years I felt like I was alone. There's nobody, and the God that made me that special, that there's no one in this whole entire world who's given birth to two children. But that's because I was keeping to myself. I wasn't really reaching out to people. I wasn't connecting with people. My life was full trying to balance the three plates, because my three children were completely different. And I don't want people to feel alone anymore, because that's when the enemy gets in. That's when the depression gets in. And a lot of times with depression, you don't realize how low you are until you start thinking thoughts that you don't need to be here, or that people will be better off without you here. So I want people to share their stories. I want people to tap into, we're going to be posting a lot of things on our website, a lot of initiatives that we want to do. We want to help people understand that it doesn't matter if you have blindness and this person has autism. If we can't help you, we're collecting resources, because we're starting to learn about different people who help people. And we want to band together and have that one voice as a special needs community, so that, Wendy tired today because she was up with Christian all night, but Judith, who doesn't even know about it, she can step in because she's been learning, she's been helping, she's been growing within our community. That person doesn't have to understand where you are to help. But like I heard you say earlier, you're not the type to reach out and ask. You got to open your mouth.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
have to say something. We're raised in a generation where it's you seen and not heard, because I said so. We weren't really raised to have a voice. But I'm here to tell you, you have a voice. And if you don't speak your truth, if you don't speak your struggle, it's not embarrassing.
Hmm.
It's somebody else like, oh, I thought it was just me, because you're sitting over there by yourself. You're not alone. There's not a situation anyone is in currently that there's not someone else in, or that they've been through, that can help you out of it. But you got to open up your mouth. If I don't know you over there hungry, or like I had a friend in an apartment was getting beat. She was getting beat daily by her husband. I had no idea because she never told me. Beautiful couple, beautiful everything. They had everything going on. The child was. She is getting beat every day, and I had no idea until after they were divorced. Can you imagine?
Open your mouth. A closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah, but Judith, I heard what you said, so I need you to take those words you just
You're
said
right. You're
and
right.
realize
You're
them.
right. But
But,
you know what? I'm not gonna make an excuse for
but I
it.
feel one coming on.
I know. But I've learned, I just kind of want to live my life just trusting, relying, and depending on God.
Yeah.
And me being the type of person that I don't reach out, it's like, for me, Lord, you said I can prove you.
Mm.
And so, me being like that, it helps me to just keep my faith in a place where I don't put my confidence in men. I put my confidence in God. Now, if God wants to move somebody to help me, he can do just what he did before. He can have a stranger call me up and say, Judy, this is what you need. But that it's all for me, Wendy. It's back to what I gotta say.
But you
Look,
also stop at other people's blessings, and I trust in God, and I don't have that confidence that you said in men. I have that confidence in who God has in my life. So if I say
okay, you win, Wendy.
I'm feeling down,
You the radio talk show host. You win.
I'm
I'm
just
not going.
saying we have to
I'm
allow
going to
people around us
receive.
to love.
Look, I receive it, but this is what I want to say. It
Okay.
just dropped in my spirit. So we're at the top of the year, people, and most of you guys, if you're not able to give, guess what? I got an idea. See, Judy's smart. You may work for an organization that has a charitable, most organizations that you work for has a charitable foundation. And what they will do is contribute to an organization of your choice. All
Mm,
you have to do is contact the human resource department, tell them that you want to contribute to the You Belong Foundation, and they will either, some companies will match your donation, and some companies will just give a donation on your behalf.
yeah,
So I encourage you to contact your HR department for your employer and tell them that you would like to contribute to the You Belong Foundation.org. They can go onto the website and it'll have all the information for you to be able to send your donation to. If you're able to do it yourself and have your employer do it, that's even the better because you're helping so many people. And that's what we're about. So I wanted to finish that one.
yeah. Thank you. And again, sometimes your time, depending on what we do and the events we have, we may need people to just come and volunteer. So if money is an issue, I get it. Sign up for our email list, and we'll keep you updated with what's going on and when we need volunteers for things. But
You
yeah, I
know,
love
you can
that
always
idea.
count on me. You
Yeah,
can always count on me. I'm a
thank
phone
you.
call.
I appreciate you having me on to talk about the platform. I appreciate who you are as a woman, being obedient to God and His direction. And I
Thank
pray much expansion
you.
with
Amen.
the projects to the penthouse.
Yes, yes. Oh, y'all, I got another announcement. So we're gonna be having hats and t-shirts, and I'm gonna get you a t-shirt, Wendy,
Okay.
and all my former guests. I'll get you your t-shirts, but you'll be able to go online and from the projects to the penthouse and purchase your own gear. I'm gonna be rocking some. Y'all know I'll be fly when I get on, so I know y'all want to be fly and see what the new t-shirt's gonna look like and the different clothing and stuff like that. So help a sister out.
Yeah.
Tell your story. I want you all to
Yeah.
come on here and tell your story. Tell us where God has taken you from and what He's brought you to, because we don't realize that one person that
Yeah.
we can save from hurting themselves or feeling like nobody cares. That's what this platform is all about. I want anybody. You can inbox me at JAS Enterprise at gmail.com, or you can go onto the website at jasenterprise.org, or you can call me at 773-451-5664. I got a good memory. I said earlier I did.
Here we go.
I want you guys to come on and tell your story. That's what from the penthouse, from the projects to the penthouse is about. We want your story. We want to know where God is taking you from. So start sharing, y'all. I shouldn't have to be calling people up to see. They should be knocking down the doors because your story, your experience
Yeah.
is going to help somebody.
Yes. Every story is important because it's yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
that part when you say that. It's my story.
It is, and it's valid. It's going to touch someone. Every story. And like you said, if we start sharing about the non-perfect parts of our lives,
Yes.
we empower others and help them understand that you're okay. You're
You don't
not
have to do
no,
that.
you don't have to do that.
Mhm.
Someone loves you. Someone cares about you being here.
Mhm.
Someone wants you to kick it with them next time. And we can't do that if you're not here.
That's right. We love you.
Yes, we love you. Yeah, you're not alone. That's why I want people to know that you are not alone. There's someone out there who cares about you. There's someone you can reach out to who can help. If I can't help you, I'm gonna figure out somebody who can.
That's right.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
direct you
everything.
too. I'm like that too,
Yeah,
Wendy. I direct them too. I
yeah,
can
you're
help them out.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out
Blessing,
that
blessing.
valley. Get out of that valley and don't go down it.
Yes. Yes. That was this was so good, y'all. I don't want to get off,
And no,
but
we can talk all day.
we'll be talking all day. Oh, one other thing. I gotta put my own plug in. It's tax season, y'all. Hit your girl up. JAS Enterprise been doing them for over 30 years.
Taxes too.
I do taxes too.
I love it.
Business, look, business, personal, financial statements, whatever you need.
Wow, that's
I am officially one that does everything. I'm not a jack of all trade and a master of none. I master it all.
I love it. I love it.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, you don't even have to leave your house to get your taxes done. If you want a cash advance starting January 1st, you can hit me up for that too. Legitimate. Got an IRS, EFIN, and all of that stuff.
Oh,
I ain't doing TurboTax.
Judith, way to go.
Look, I had to put my little plug in. I'm sorry, Wendy. But
Yeah.
you have been truly, truly a blessing.
Thank
I
you for having me.
I know. And I'm gonna start confessing that over my life.
Yes.
Because like you said, even people who may seem to be confident need self-confidence. So I'm gonna start saying to myself, I belong to this earth. I
Yeah.
need to pour into this earth. I
Yeah.
belong. And we all belong.
We all belong.
You have been such a blessing sharing your story. God knows. Oh, Dr. Barnes, thank you so much. Marion, Wendy.
Yes, Dr. Barnes, thank you so much.
Yes, we bless you. We bless you.
Yes, we bless him.
Oh my God. And I want to thank Dr. T for introducing me.
Yeah, Dr. T is awesome.
Yes, to you
What
guys.
an amazing woman. Gotta
Thank
give her the credit. Yeah.
always connecting, always doing her
Always. That's what she
connecting. And
does.
she loves, she's the one that taught me if they're not disabled, they're differently able.
God, yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So yes, whatever I can do to be of service to you guys, I'm there. I thank God for you all. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining this episode of JAS Enterprise Presents From the Projects to the Penthouse. So before we leave, I'm gonna play again my spoken word. It's called The King of Love. King of Love, we moving on up. I have a message from the King of Love, lessons, degrees, melodies sent from above. The King of Love is sent to teach. Words of wisdom are within your reach. Knowledge is a deep understanding of the wisdom of self without being demanding. The words he speaks, the melody he sings, let you know in the door he is truly a king. Disregard the appearance, seek to reach within, and embrace the King of Love without fear of sin. His life is dramatic, his path full of gold. The King of Love will never grow old. The words make you smile, the touch makes you blush. The seriousness of it all sends your mind in a rush. Sisters, brothers, all families, you don't hear him calling? You must be deaf, because we seem to be falling from the highest heights where we were meant to be. His music soothes and his words relieves. Listen close, pay attention. Let him take you to another dimension. When you feel the touch, please don't rush. Relax, open your mind and learn to trust. Look within to see who you truly are. And let the King of Love be your guiding star.